Good afternoon, I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Midday News. The headlines. President HH condemned for calling previous governments a clique of thieves. 2 houses gutted due to suspected electrical fault in LUSAKA. Join me with the details after this commercial.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the ministry.
There's so much data.
Mom?
Yes, baby?
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
And now the media news in detail. Residents of Mtendere compound in LUSAKA have called on the Zambia Police Service to take an aggressive approach towards combating community gang, locally known as junkies, stating that criminal activities have been on the rise in the area. In separate interviews with Camnet News, the residents state that they are not being helped by the police in the area, who have been citing low staffing levels and inadequate police vehicles to conduct patrols at night. Recently, Police Inspector General Lemi Kajoba directed police to curb criminal gangs which have mushroomed in LUSAKA.
Many communities in LUSAKA are packed with a high number of youths, and majority of them do not engage in any economic activity, mostly due to the lack of capital to start up businesses. This has led to an increase in crime levels around communities, as these youths spend their days engaging in drug and alcohol abuse and turn to robbing citizens at night. For a long time now, residents of various compounds such as Kanyama, Misisi, Chibolya, and Mutendere in LUSAKA have been terrorized by the criminal gangs who are locally known as junkies. Inspector General of Police Mr. Lemi Kajoba recently indicated an increase in the criminal gangs and directed police to curb the said criminal activities. However, residents of Mutendere compound say they are not being helped by the police in the area, who cite lack of manpower and inadequate police vehicles.
We've got a lot of unruly youths called the junks in Mutendere there. Junks are about 100 meters away from the police station, but we don't seem to be getting enough help that we need. Because these chaps, they attack people at any time, and the police are not doing anything about it. So maybe if a neighborhood watch can be formed and part of the money to be channeled to neighborhood watch so that they can help the police in terms of security, so that they can combat the issues of junks in Mtendere. We also need street lighting in Mtendere. There are times when there's no ZESCO power, so we need the street lights which are powered by solar to be put up in certain roads which are of great importance.
The residents say one of the solutions is to build more police posts around crime-prone communities and ensure that these are adequately staffed and equipped.
Majanki like Mtendere East Kalikiliki, bativuta maningi. We would love as a government tandizeko according to the budget yanachoka, like pama police ya to stations webe mamotoka duty vehicles, at least wakazenda on patrol na mamotoka. It will really help.
Stakeholders have been calling for empowerment of these youths, saying it is only when youth engage in productive activities that crime levels will significantly reduce. Zipora Mshala, Camnet News, LUSAKA.
2 houses in LUSAKA's Dibala area Saturday night were gutted beyond destroying property worth thousands of kwacha. The incident, which happened around 17 hours, was noticed by neighbors to the victim's house 10 minutes after power had restored. According to their explanation, power has been cutting without notice from the power utility company. Meanwhile, the firefighters who rushed to the scene managed to quench the fire before it could spread to other houses in the same yard.
3rd November 2021 can be described as the start of electricity challenges in most parts of the country after a heavy downpour that left many structures destroyed, among them electric poles and billboards. For the past 4 days, the country has experienced unprecedented power cuts as ZESCO, the power utility company, announced its black start, which, according to them, was meant to pave way for investigations at the company. The untimely power cuts have allegedly burnt down a block of 2 flats in Lusaka's Liwala area, leaving nothing to chance. Neighbors tell Camnet TV that the fire started around 19 hours, 10 minutes after power was restored.
1 hour ya bwela 1 hour yaenda so nenza nkezi na maboys bankapanja tinkala namuza tikashe mbaula kuseri aenda kwende ya shambaula abwela after cha shambaula malaiti abwela so I was like okay isi yasha TV kaite stazimi ya bosi yasha TV so kwa mimi tange na mnyumba naambera vintu vinyuka na iyo mwana mbaula ikaribu yakati ya isi yaka namuza tutoka panja enda kuseri uzunguruko ukushtemwaji uone atoka panja nuza tukulivu niachoka panja kusengera ndepa mena wana muliro uchoka kamanda ndepa mena chokusaba na wanga mnyumba rati wana mnyumba okwe hapa na wapunjia nawa na mnyumba hapa chosani moto kanapelekana wana yaswena bwela yaenda ngepeteza ona moto manga ni nyumba ya brachani ya yaka it's like ZESCO 40 kapelenza the whole day, and we've been experiencing this kind of situation for more than 3 days.
Another resident of the same area is worried that the situation, if left unchecked, may lead to loss of lives.
After the power was restored, we had, just after 10 minutes, my neighbor here, I just heard her shouting, "Nyumba yapya, nyumba yapya." So we don't even know what really transpired because the fire was coming from the top of the roof. So we don't know if it's ZESCO or if it's the neighbors that left things open, we don't know. Yeah. Motoka nina patina. So wanza chosani motoka chosani. Jamani chosera motoka na paka punch. Because you know motoka na muliro ni maspark. So independent and partner.
Meanwhile, the fire was quenched 40 minutes later and no life was lost in the process.
But we start to fire brigades. So when they come to Munjira, we starting to almost 30 minutes for them to reach here. By the time they were reaching, the house was gutted and the property was already down. So even if they have put off the power, the fire, but the property is burnt.
Sharon Kalimbola, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Police in Lusaka have gunned down 3 criminals in Matero's Lilanda area suspected to have been planning to stage aggravated robbery. Speaking when he displayed a motor vehicle and an AK-47 recovered from the operation at Lusaka Central Police Sunday morning, police spokesperson Ray Hamonga says two of the criminals are on the run. Mr. Hamonga says after receiving information from the public that criminals wanted to stage a robbery, the police rushed to the scene where there were heavy exchange of gunfire. The police spokesperson has since asked members of the general public that might be missing their relative to come and identify those gunned down at UTH mortuary where the bodies have been deposited awaiting identification.
We'd like to confirm that yesterday, as police in Uganda, that some criminal wanted to quick action by officers movement. We arrived in Uganda, where we found the criminals, we confronted them. Unfortunately, they opened fire at our officers. Our officers retaliated. We covered this motor, the AK-47 rifle, 400 ammunition. Now we just want to send a very strong warning to the criminals. They are just coming from an amnesty. We are requesting them to surrender these illegal firearms. Unfortunately, The reports that we're getting so far are not so encouraging. Very few people enter into the fires. And going forward now, the police have stepped up our operations.
Patriots for Economic Progress PEP President Sean Tembo has given Republican President Hakainde Hichilema a 7-day ultimatum to withdraw an alleged statement made on Saturday that a clique of thieves have been running Zambia since independence. President Hichilema made these statements at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport when responding to questions from journalists shortly after his arrival from a climate change summit in Scotland. The PEP president says the party will approach the Constitutional Court of Zambia for a declaration of President Hichilema's statement as divisive should it not be withdrawn within the stipulated period.
Different views have risen from stakeholders over President Hakainde Hichilema's statement made on Saturday upon his arrival from a climate change summit in Scotland. In responding to questions from the media, the head of state said the new administration is keen on ensuring that the country's public resources benefit citizens.
Who did not want this country to be run by anyone else other than a clique of thieves like them. And I call them a clique of thieves because they've been feeding off public resources from independence. And I don't think that someone else, other people can run a country in a better way to redistribute jobs, to redistribute resources. This is what a colossal mind does.
Patriots for Economic Progress PEP President Mr. Sean Tembo has described the statement as regrettable, saying it is demeaning to previous Republican presidents. He says the party is therefore demanding for the statement to be withdrawn and an apology rendered within 7 days, failure to which the party will approach the Constitutional Court for the statement to be declared as divisive.
The statement by President Hichilema was referring basically to Presidents Kaunda, Chiruva, Mwanawasa, Banda, Sata, as well as Lungu. And we feel that such a statement was not in order because it was belittling to the former heads of state. And on that basis, we have decided to issue an ultimatum to the Republican president for him to withdraw his statement within 7 days. Failure to which we shall be compelled to approach the Constitutional Court of Zambia to seek a declaration that the president's statement is unconstitutional as it is divisive to this nation.
However, presidential spokesperson Mr. Anthony Walia in a statement has clarified on the matter, saying it was taken out of context. The presidential spokesperson explains that the head of state was referring to the new administration's commitment in the decentralization process to avoid bureaucracy which leaves room for corruption so as to ensure that citizens benefit from the country's natural resources at the grassroots level. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
That news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Midday News, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. President HH condemned for calling previous governments a clique of thieves. 2 houses gutted due to suspected electrical fault in Lusaka. Thank you for joining me. I am Precious Mzeya Sakaleji. Good afternoon.